Good morning students, I welcome you all for commerce class. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 7 part 3, that is the left out disadvantages and also the types of cooperative societies. So listen carefully students, it will be very interesting. The sixth disadvantage is lack of managerial skills. So managerial skills means what? They're using the talents. So they will not use their talents properly because the managing committee elected by its members are there limited. So the members of the managing committee may not have the required qualification. Because of their capital investment amount, they will elect the manager. As limited financial resources, its ability to compensate its employees is also limited. So, lack of managerial skills results in inefficient management, poor functioning, and difficulty in achieving the desired objectives. Excessive government intervention. Intervention means what? Always the government will interfere in the works of the cooperative society because it was established by the government. So they have excessive government regulation which affects their autonomy and flexibility. Adhering to various regulations take up much of the management's time and effort. So what they do? They are very fed up with the government's rules and regulations. Next disadvantage is misuse of funds. The members of the managing committee, what they do is they try to take up the money that the funds in the cooperative society. Many cooperative societies have faced financial troubles and closed down. That is, they are wound up because of corruption and misuse of funds. Next disadvantage is inefficiencies leading to losses. Cooperative societies operate with limited financial resources because the capital investment itself will be very less and also the share value also will be very low. Therefore, they cannot recruit the best talent, acquire latest technology or adopt modern management practices. So what they do is they adopt only traditional model and traditional mold which may not be suitable in the modern business environment. So hence therefore they suffer losses. Next is lack of secrecy. Maintaining secrecy is the best key for the competitiveness of the business organization. But business secrets cannot be maintained in cooperative society because all members are aware of the activities of the enterprise. Further, the reports and accounts also can be verified by everyone and also it has to be submitted by the registrar of cooperative societies. Therefore, information relating to activities, revenues, members, etc. becomes public knowledge and is being widely spread out. Next disadvantage is conflicts among members. Sometimes there arise disputes between the members of the corporation because they are not having harmony among the members. But these quarrels occurs only because of internal politics, differences of opinions, etc. Such disputes affect the functioning of the cooperative societies. Next, we'll move on with limited scope. Scope means opportunity. The opportunity will be limited in case of cooperative societies. Since the funds available are limited, they cannot undertake large scale operation and it is not suitable in industries requiring large investments. Next, we'll move on with types of cooperative societies. These cooperative societies are broadly classified into two, that is credit cooperatives and non-credit cooperatives. The credit cooperatives can be further classified into agricultural credit and non-agricultural credit cooperatives. However, for your class, that is for 11th standard students, the cooperative societies are classified as follows. They are not given in detail, but the classification is given below. First type is consumer cooperatives. These consumer cooperatives are organized by consumers that want to achieve better prices or quality in the goods or services they purchase. So, in contrast to traditional retail stores or service providers, a consumer cooperative exists to deliver goods or services rather than to maximize the profit. So, the aim is only to deliver the goods which are applicable for the consumers. They also supply essential commodities through public distribution system. According to this nation, the most widely used cooperative form is a credit union with some 90 million members. So the credit union assets have grown or underfold in 3 decades. So credit unions are essentially cooperatives that use banking services. What is meant by credit unions? Credit unions means the unions which provide credit facilities to the consumers. And also students cooperative stores also is available and cooperative provision stores is also available. Supermarkets also available for the benefits of the consumers. Next type of cooperatives is producers cooperatives. Producers cooperatives are established and operated by the producers themselves. Producers can decide to work together or as separate entities to help increasing marketing possibilities and the efficiency of the production. So the producers alone will start this cooperatives. The consumers will not start this cooperatives. It is different from consumer cooperatives. In these cooperatives, they only distribute their own products, they market their own products. In such a way, they organize these cooperatives. This helps to lessen the cost and strains in each area with a mutual benefit of the producer themselves. So examples are cooperative weavers societies, cooperative carpenting units, cooperative match factories. Next type of cooperatives is marketing cooperatives. So marketing cooperatives are associations of small producers formed for the purpose of marketing their produce. Produce means what? Products. So the marketing cooperatives perform certain marketing functions such as grading, warehousing, advertising, etc. They secure better price for their members by transporting goods even to distant markets. Their aim is only for marketing, that is advertising about the products. So advance is also given to members against produce deposited with the society. It means what they do is they produce goods will be deposited. Deposited means will be given to the society, and from that society it will be distributed to other persons, outsiders. Thus they are boon to agriculturists, small producers and artisans who in the absence of these cooperatives would be forced to sell at lower prices to middlemen. That means no other go if suppose marketing cooperatives are not there, means they will be left without any help. Who? The small agriculturalists, small producers and the artisans. Because in order to help them only, this marketing cooperatives was established. Next type of cooperative society is credit cooperative society. This is formed in order to provide short-term financial help to their members, agriculturists, artisans, industrial workers, salaried employees, etc. Being unable to obtain financial accommodation from banks and other financial institutions, they are at the mercy of moneylenders to charge exorbitant rate of interest. Since they are charging exorbitant rate of interest, exorbitant means higher rate of interest. So, in order with the exploitation of these moneylenders, it is necessary and it is main motive of this cooperative society in order to encourage thrift among members. So credit societies may be agricultural credit societies or non-agricultural credit societies providing credit facilities to agriculturalists as well as for the industrial workers. Next is housing cooperatives. These cooperatives provide financial sources to the residential accommodation or for rent or for ownership basis to their members. People who intend to build houses of their own join together and form housing societies. So what they do, with the help of that, they get loans in order to build their house. These societies advance loans to members repayable over a period of 15 to 20 years. So housing building societies on the other hand construct houses for their members instead of granting loans to them. These are house construction societies which acquire land, construct houses and rent them to members also. So the member tenant, however, own the houses after paying the cost. The tenant means those who have occupied the house for rent. The last type of cooperative society is cooperative farming society. Here what they do is the farmers in a village, what they do, they gather the lands which they acquire together and agree to treat that land which is acquired into a big farm for the purpose of cultivation, because the necessary inputs for the cultivation and market the crops jointly, they are assumed to have formed a cooperative farming society. Since they don't have sufficient of amount or don't have sufficient of labor, they do this type of activities in order forming the cooperative societies for farming. Such societies use office bearers in order for the working of the society. Office bearers may be like those who take care of the office like secretary, treasurer, etc. So what they do, they look after the proper cultivation of new farm that emerges after the land of various farmers has been pooled. The ownership of the land still lies with the respective members of the society, and they withdraw from the society whenever they like. After contributing the land, what they do is they can even contribute certain assets like labors also they can give for the purpose of what? For cultivation. Labors means who? The workers, their own workers. So in turn they get rent for the land and also they get wages for their labor. With this we are completing this part, students, and also this chapter gets over. Chapter 7. Once again, I'll recall for you what all we saw in this chapter, that is meaning of cooperatives, characteristics of cooperatives, advantages and disadvantages of cooperatives, principles of cooperatives and types of cooperatives. Thank you, students. We'll meet next day.